Hello students, in this lecture we are going to discuss about the physical significance of divergence of a vector field. Okay, so mathematically we write the divergence of a vector field as if A is any vector, if A is any vector which is represented as a vector is equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap. So if A is any vector which is represented by the three orthogonal components or orthogonal vectors, here ax, ay and az are the components of a vector in the three directions x, y and z. Divergence of a vector is written as div A, or that is equal to this symbol, this is a vector quantity, dot a vector, and this symbol is given by, this is called del operator or Nabla operator. This is I cap del by del x plus j cap del by del y plus k cap del by del z, and we dot this vector with a vector, that is I cap ax plus j cap ay plus k cap a z. And if we make dot product, we will get del x by del x plus del ay by del y plus del az by del z. Okay, so this is the expression for divergence of a vector. Okay, and the physical significance of divergence of a vector, we generally say that the divergence of a vector is defined as the net outward flux associated with a closed surface divided by that volume which is surrounded by or which is bounded by that surface, or we can say that the net outward flux per unit volume through that surface which bounds that volume. And the question is how this statement means this mathematical expression. The statement I said, how that statement means this mathematical expression, that I am going to show you. Okay. So let us consider a coordinate system in space, Cartesian coordinate system. This is, let's say, x-axis, y-axis, and this is z-axis. Okay. So in this space or in this coordinate system, we consider a small volume element in the shape of a cuboid. Okay, this is very, very small. To analyze this, I am making it little bit large. Actually, this is very, very small. Okay. And let's say V is a vector point function. V is a vector point function. Vector point function means, so V is a vector function which depends on the coordinates of three-dimensional space. So at each point the vector V has a different value. So at each point vector V has a different value, means vector V is a function of coordinate x, y, z. Okay, at a particular point there is a value of x, y, z, and at that particular point the function V has a particular magnitude and a particular direction. So this vector point function v has, let's say, a value v, let's say a value v in this volume element, means the volume element is very small. So the volume element is such small volume, or the volume element is so small that the vector point function does not vary within this volume, does not vary by a large quantity in this volume. Okay, it does not mean that the vector point function is constant throughout the volume. The value and direction of this vector point function can change inside the volume, but this change is very negligible. Okay, so we can assume that the value of this vector point function is almost same within that volume. Okay, so let us give name to these corners. This is P, Q, R, S. This is E, F, G, H, and so on. Okay. So if this vector point function is almost constant throughout the volume, this must have a constant direction throughout the volume. Let's say this direction is like this. Okay, so this vector point function v can be written as I cap vx plus j cap vy plus k cap vz. This vector point function can be written in this way, where vx, vy and vz are the components of that vector point function. Okay, let us calculate the flux due to this vector point function throughout the whole cuboidal element, or throughout the whole cuboidal volume. First, we start from the calculating flux between the PQRS surface and EFGH surface. Okay, let this vector point function v has a particular value, let's say v, in the cross section PQRS, in the surface PQRS. This vector function has a value, let's say v, okay. So we are calculating the flux, through this surface PQRS. So the flux is given by phi PQRS, that is equal to this vector, this will be v vector dot this surface area, and this surface area is given by dy dz. Okay, this surface area is given by dy dz, and the magnitude of this surface area is dy dz, and the direction is along I cap. The direction is along I cap direction. So if we make dot product of these two vectors, we will get Vx dy dz, because here there is I cap, and if we put v vector, and if we put in the place of v vector this expression, we will get j cap dot I cap will be 0, k cap dot I cap will be 0, only I cap dot I cap will exist, and the value will be Vx dy and dz. Okay, and if we go in x direction, the value of the vector field will change surely. If we go in x direction, the value of the vector field will change. It may be decrease or increase, but the value will definitely vary. So if we reach at the surface EFGH, let the Vx changes to a value Vx plus del Vx by del x into dx. Okay, because we go in x direction through a very small distance, and in going through that small distance, the value of Vx, let's say, changes by term del Vx by del x into dx. And initially in this surface, at this surface, the value of Vx was simply Vx, and when we reach at this surface, the value of Vx becomes Vx plus del Vx by del x into dx. Here, if we calculate the flux through this surface EFGH, the flux will be just similar way. The flux will be phi EFGH, that is equal to Vx del Vx by del x into dx, del Vx by del x into dx whole into dy dz, whole into dy dz, because this surface area is also dy dz. And if we multiply Vx dx dy, Vx dy dz plus del Vx by del x dx dy dz, we will get this form. And now we will calculate what is the net outward flux through the x direction. The net outward flux through the x direction we will find by subtracting this flux from this flux. So here I am writing the net outward flux. The net outward flux is the net outward flux is phi flux through this surface EFGH minus phi PQRS, which is equal to, if we minus this from this term Vx dy dz will be cancelled out by this term Vx dy dz, and the remaining term will be del Vx by del x dx dy and dz. Okay, so this is the net outward flux. This is the net outward flux in the x direction. How we calculated it? First we calculate the flux associated with this surface, and then calculated the flux associated with this surface. If we subtract the flux of this surface from the flux of this surface, we will get the net outward flux in the x direction. Or if I explain some more, I can say that let these lines or these lines of forces are generating somewhere here and where there is a source. These lines of force are generating somewhere here where there is a source. Okay, and the lines of force are entering in this surface. Okay, so as the lines of force are entering in this surface, the flux associated with this surface will be negative, and as from this surface the lines of force are emerging or going outward, the flux associated with this surface will be definitely positive. Okay, so net flux will be, if we add these two, this will be positive, this will be negative. So if we add these two, indirectly we are subtracting flux through this surface from the flux through this surface, and we are doing here this. Okay, so basically this expression represents the net outward flux in the x direction. It means the net flux going out of the box in the x direction minus the net flux coming into the box in x direction. Okay. Similarly, in y direction also, we can calculate the net outward flux as del Vy by del y into dx dy dz. And also in z direction, net outward flux will be del Vz by del z into dx dy into dz. If we calculate the total outward flux, we will add these three, and from these three we can take dx dy dz to outside as a common term. Then we will get net outward flux or net flux coming out of this volume. Net outward flux phi will be equal to del Vx by del x plus del Vy by del y plus del Vz by del z. This is the net outward flux. Into there is a common term which is given by dx dy and dz. Dx dy and dz. And from the definition, remember the definition, I have said that the divergence is defined as the net outward flux per unit volume. At the beginning I have said that the net outward flux is, or the divergence is the net outward flux per unit volume. So this is the net outward flux. We will calculate the net outward flux per unit volume, that is net outward flux or divergence is equal to, or divergence of V is equal to net outward flux per unit volume So that is equal to net outward flux is written here del Vx by del x plus del Vy by del y plus del Vz by del z dx dy dz divided by the volume, and the volume of this cuboid is obviously dx dy and dz. So if we cancel out this with this, we will finally get divergence of V is equal to del Vx by del x plus del Vy by del y plus del Vz by del z. Okay, this is the divergence, and we prove how this expression is coming out of the definition, that is net outward flux per unit volume at a particular point. Okay, so this is the whole proof. What we did here, we simply calculate the net flux coming out of a cuboid minus the net flux coming into the cuboid. Okay, and here is the final expression. And let me say one thing, that if the flux generating source, the source which is generating the flux, is not present inside the cuboidal volume, that is present, let's say, outside the cuboidal volume, the amount of flux entering into the cuboid will be equal to the amount of flux going out of the cuboid. So the divergence in this case will be 0. And if the source that producing the flux is present inside this cuboid or inside this volume, then the net outward flux coming into this small volume will be different from the net outward flux coming or going out of this small volume. So if we make the difference of these two, we will get a non-zero quantity. So the flux is not equal to 0. So the flux is only 0 when the source which producing the flux is not present inside the box. Okay. So this is all about your physical significance of flux of a or divergence of a vector field. Okay, thank you.